Hey, what's up? Alex Sipala here with EU Movement in New York City. We're at the NYC City Fest with Andy Mineo. How do you feel right now after tonight's event?
Good, man. It's always a pleasure to be able to do something hometown. You know, especially for a public event that's free for the park, because people get to come out from New York City that know you, and your music gets introduced to a lot of people that don't know you. You know, just met a couple kids on their bikes, never heard you before, love the stuff. So it's always a cool event, man. Especially with a good sound and good people.
That's awesome. So last April in 2014, you released a new project.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you name your EP Neverland?
Neverland was kind of twofold. One, growing up as a kid, I always would watch Hook, you know, Captain Hook and Peter Pan. And so Neverland was the place that, you know, through believing or through faith, essentially, you know, Peter Pan was able to become Peter Pan. He would fly and he would go to Neverland, and you know, so Neverland is really symbolic for me in a lot of ways. Also, just the idea of, like, you know, Neverland, like a twofold in the word. Like, I want to elevate the way people think and the way people live in a way that, you know, they'll get so high they'll never land, essentially. You know, so there's some wordplay happening there, but yeah, a lot of symbolism from my inspiration as a kid.
So what do you think contributed to its overall success? I know I had a lot of success with the project.
Yeah. Well, we have just the 116 movement as a whole lot of people that are behind us. You know what I'm saying? So people believe in good music, and they believe in music that, you know, communicates ideas that they're passionate about, and I think the music does that. I think it's also just something refreshing in hip-hop where, you know, you can hear something besides money, hoes, and clothes, you know, in a record. You can hear people talking about real life and real issues and real things. And, you know, that's definitely what 116 and Reach Records and Minor League, you know, that's the stuff that we offer.
So you touched on the 116. What is that?
Yeah, 116 is, it's kind of become this worldwide movement. People that are saying that they're unashamed to be, you know, who God's made them to be. And 116 comes from Romans 1:16 that says, I'm unashamed of the gospel. It's the power of God for salvation for anyone who believes. And so we're unashamed to say that we, you know, this is what we're about. We're unashamed to, you know, live that out. I think we live in a culture that shames the idea of faith or shames the idea of being anything besides what culture tells you to be. And we're not afraid to say, you know, man, God's made us for something more than, you know, kind of what we see hip-hop culture communicating, or any culture, you know, like, be about yourself, be about, you know, be about success at any means necessary, step on whoever's back when you need to get there, you know, make you the center of your life, and we believe, you know, just a lot bigger perspective than that.
So what really inspired you to get into making music when you first started?
Really, it was just, you know, like most people, you listen to a lot of artists, you love what they do, and you're like, I want to try it, you know? So I was listening to a lot of rap, and me and my boy Ryan, we were making parodies of other people's songs, you know, just taking the instrumentals because we couldn't, you know, we had a lot of the instrumentals because we couldn't buy the full-length CDs because they cost too much money. So on the singles, they had the instrumentals. So we'd write our own raps to those, and we started recording them on a computer. And after that, you know, I fell in love with it. Started buying more recording equipment, keep on recording myself, recording my friends, and just been making music passionately since I was like 12 years old. So it's been a lot of years doing it, and you know, I get to do it for a living now. It's crazy. People want to, you know, spend their money to support me, and it's amazing.
So how did you first get involved with your current record label, Reach Records?
Yeah. So Lecrae is the owner of Reach Records.
Okay.
Him and another guy named Ben Washer. And I have a friend from that I went to college with. His name's Alex Medina. He started working with Lecrae, and me and Alex would make music all the time, and we still do. And so he kind of showed Alex showed Lecrae my music, and then Lecrae got interested, and he hit me up. We did a collaboration together, did a couple of them. So yeah, we just built a relationship. We realized we enjoyed each other's music. We were kind of cut from the same cloth, same idea and mission of what we wanted to do with music. So it was a fit, man. Got connected with them, you know, and it's been history since.
So at EU Movement, we are all about inspiring people to action and translating just ideas into real life thoughts and processes and actions. So what is one way that one can step out for God if they just simply don't know how?
You know, I was talking to my buddy Ray from Grateful Apparel.
Okay.
And you should interview him too. He's a beast. Real great friend. He started a company, and we were just having a talk in his van. You know, he started a company called Grateful Apparel, and it's worldwide.
Yeah.
But he said the first thing in his relationship with God was one day he threw up his hands and he said, God, I don't know what it means to follow you, but I want to surrender my life to you and follow you. You know, and that was it was from a genuine place in his heart, where he was, you know, you got to hear his story, but he was getting ready to kill somebody, you know, getting ready, you know, like real caught up in the street life, and just said, you know, God, I want to follow you. I want to leave this stuff behind. And I think it's that in those moments of saying, you know, God, I don't want this life. I want the life that you've designed for me. That's the beginning of a search, you know what I mean? And there's lots of components. Everybody's story is different, but there's lots of components that help someone in their spiritual growth who want to know God. I think great places to start are your local churches, you know, your friends that who know something about God or confess to be Christians. Those are great places to start to have conversations and begin to dig deeper, you know. But yeah, that's what I always recommend. Is that one, you know, people say like make one-time decision to follow Jesus or, you know, to have a relationship with God, but I really think it's a journey and it happens over time, and it's something that needs to be done in community. Nobody just figures out how to follow God on their own, and that's why, you know, God has established the local church and, you know, communities for people to be able to understand who he is in community and together and to walk through life. So that when you go through hardship, when you go through things to celebrate like marriage and birthdays and weddings and all that stuff, there's a community of people that share the ideas, share the similar ideas and worldviews and help you walk in them. So say first step, man, get connected with people, talk with God, get connected with other people that know him and start figuring it out.
Comparison in this generation is huge. Mm-hmm. What would your message be to someone who's just caught up in that comparison trap? As far as like they're trying to be focused on God, but all the time they're seeing what other people are doing through social media, Instagram, Twitter, and then they're just so fogged by all this comparison that they lose sight of their own vision.
Yeah. Yeah, I think everybody is inspired by somebody, you know, but at some point we shed our inspirations and we become our own voice. And sometimes that takes time, you know, when you're finding inspiration, you know, it comes from other sources, typically. But I think it's being brave enough to make the decision to say that I'm going to separate myself from the wave that's happening and be genuine and authentic to who I am. And you'll be surprised that the moment you start really being who you are, saying what you believe, doing what you believe, there's typically people out there that believe what you believe or see the world the way you do, and they find you, especially with the internet. You know, like our movement of dudes saying, I love God and I want to make music and communicate those ideas, that was not popular in hip hop, but there was lots of people who wanted that. And if we would have not been brave enough to say, you know, I'm going to do exactly what I feel I'm supposed to do, you know, maybe we wouldn't have the music we have today. But it's that bravery to say, I'm just going to be exactly who I'm supposed to be and not put my identity in the hands of others. Because what we're essentially saying is I want people's approval. You know, I want to be something that they like so that they'll like me. But man, we already have an identity. You know, God's given us a unique identity. And I think when you really know what that is, you can function from it and not for it, you know? So, yeah, bravery, man.
You touched on the topic of identity in Christ. What does that look like for someone who's still searching for that, who feels like it's kind of clouded in their life, it's not clear really their identity? What does that look like for the steps to find that?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think our identity is always being challenged, right? So, you know, even for me, like as a hip hop artist, I'd be like, all right, I know who I am as an artist, and then a new wave of music or something will come out, and I'll be like, oh, am I up on it? Or, you know, like, I'll be challenged to forget who I am, you know, and try to fit in or something, you know what I mean? So our identity is always being challenged. That's why there's huge advertisements and billboards that say, do this, you know, buy this product, whatever it is. It's because if you have this product, you're cool, you know, your identity is, if you have this many Instagram followers or this many Twitter followers or whatever, then that means you're worth something. So we literally judge people by what they have more than what they are or who they are. And so to find your identity in Jesus is obviously, it doesn't happen overnight. I think it would happen like through some of the things I was saying, which was like through really understanding who God is and how he's made us and what he's made us to be. That doesn't have, you know, you don't understand all of that in a moment of time, but I think it's through that journey of discovering who you are, who God is, who he's made you to be, and what he's called you to do. And I've found that in my life to happen through community, through my local church, through studying the Bible with them, through going to small groups and reading and understanding what I was made for and my purpose. All those things really have shaped my identity. You know, yeah, I think that's the most simply put way to say it is it takes time to understand that. Ooh.
So at E-Movement, we love ending all our videos with interviews by asking, what has God been teaching you lately in your life?
Yeah, I think God has been teaching me a lot lately about, ironically, a lot about identity.
Yeah.
For me, I think one of the things I've realized is I can get very focused on what I'm doing more than who I'm becoming. And I think it's very easy, very tempting to get caught up in, you know what, I am a hip hop artist first, you know, or I am, you know, especially when you have momentum and things going on, you say, man, I really got to tend to this, I got to tend to this, I got to tend to this. And you forget that God gives us identities before the things that we're doing. Like, at least he's all right. God gives us identities, you know, like I'm called to be a Christian and a husband before anything else, to love God and to love and serve my wife before everything else. And then, you know, I'm a son, you know, lots of things in there. But if we have a misordered, you know, priorities, then we can really get caught up in what we're doing than who we're becoming. And I think at the end of the day, who we are, what we're becoming is like the most important thing in this life. Because everything that we do, what we do, you know, E-Movement, 116, my music, all that stuff is gonna, at some point, be gone. You know, and all we'll have is who we are. And I think focusing on becoming who I'm supposed to be is my biggest priority. And I'm fighting to be reminded of that and to pursue that.